Some ways that we are different is that we actually use a feature of gamification that is very unique and you won't find anywhere else. And it's a system that we call prospect points. And so you can see here, here's a chart here of the points that this particular contact has. And there's a green line for quality points. The quality points are how interested the prospect is. So this is quality scoring. And pursuit points is how hard are we pursuing that prospect in terms of our outreach. So this picture here of the green line compared to the red line, you picture what this chart would look like for that prospect that you're calling and calling and calling and they never call you back. This chart here would be a red line going up and up and up, and the green line of interest is flat. That gives you a picture of, okay, this is not a great prospect and maybe someone that I shouldn't spend my valuable time with or pursue anymore. So as well as on the other end of the spectrum, if you have the prospects that are reaching out to you and asking for more information and meeting with you and expressing a lot of interest, their green line will be going up and up, and maybe the red line is below it or correlated with it or whatnot. And that shows you a picture of a good quality prospect. So very quickly and visually, you can see what's going on with each contact. Now, let me show you how these points go up and down. They go up and down in a couple ways. There's an automated way that these points go up and down, and that is when you send emails out to your prospects, and when they open emails and click links in your emails, the green line is going to go up because that's going to automatically generate quality points. The red line goes up when you send emails out because that's going to generate pursuit points. So every time you send an email to a prospect, you're going to get 1 pursuit point. Now, there's another way that the prospect generates points, and that is through this, what we call log and interaction feature here. Now, this is the comparable thing in another CRM would be a button that says log a call. Now, typically when you click log a call, that's going to open a text field where you can enter notes about that particular call. I'm a firm believer in logging basically everything you do or have done in the past in order to know what to do in the future. So what we've done is we've really added a lot to the traditional log a call feature, and it's log and interaction, because log a call, there's many different things that you might want to log. Sure, you can log a phone call. You also might want to log an email that you an email exchange. You can log an email that you have. You could log some marketing events or details. You might want to log a social media exchange, some networking details. So there's different types of interactions. So when you come here to log a call, it's going to fill in with the contact and the date. And then what you can do is what you can basically select from these pre-filled in boxes as to what happened in that particular interaction. And there's a couple things there. One is this makes it extremely quick and easy to log calls because you don't have to type anything. It's all pre-filled in. The other thing is that for each item that you select, you're going to be documenting different quality points and pursuit points. So for each different detail, there's different points that are associated with that. Some of the points are also negative. So the prospect may lose quality points depending on if they cancel a meeting or whatnot, or say give you an objection, and then you're going to get different pursuit points. So this is where you log details about what interaction you had. You can also log any details about what was discussed or what you learned about them and how the engagement went. Now, here's the key thing is you can log the objections that came up. So this is a real quick and easy way for you to document what objections the prospect had. You can add any notes according to what, maybe there were some details here that happened, but there's not a pre-populated checkbox. You can add any additional notes. And then very quickly, you can add your follow-up tasks. So let's say that you met with someone and you just logged all the details about that meeting. Then let's say your standard process is to follow up with a phone call 1 week later. You can very easily schedule that here. And then if I click save, a few things are going to happen. First of all, you can see here the chart just updated with all these different points. So you can see this little spike here. So the quality line went up and the pursuit line went up. So we're getting an accurate picture of what's going on with this prospect based on our meeting or whatever we just had. And you can see here are the notes. So the activity history, here are the notes of everything we just logged. And then there's a task put on our calendar for next week for our callback, and our callback has all our notes. So 3 things just happened there. One is that the points updated, the chart updated. We logged in activity in our history, and then we scheduled our follow-up task. So a very efficient way to document what's going on with that particular contact. And you could do the same thing with accounts. The other thing I want to show you is you could see here prospect points. This is what I told you. This is the gamification feature. And I showed you this originally from the CRM standpoint where each contact has a chart, and that makes it real easy to see what's going on with that particular contact. That's nice to have that picture as to what's going on with each contact. I mean, at the end of the day, probably the salesperson knows that, this contact's not responding or this contact's expressing a lot of interest, but that graph does provide maybe a manager or someone who's not doing the outreach a good quick picture as to what's going on with each contact. But what's real powerful with those points is when we bring all of those points together for each sales rep. This was where your sales team will be listed out, and you'll be able to see all the quality points and pursuit points for each particular salesperson. And your salespeople can come here as well. And this is basically where they can come and view how they're doing compared to each salesperson. And this is where it becomes a level of gamification and a level of motivation. The sales rep can see how they compare, see if they're at the bottom, see if they're at the top in terms of points. You could also have weekly contests to say, okay, well, for this week, you could run a report for the week. Whoever has the most, pursuit points or the most quality points, whatever, gets a gift card or gets some sort of reward. And then here you see a chart for quality points and pursuit points. And so this is where you could see exactly what's going on from an activity standpoint. The pursuit points, this is the activity that the salesperson's doing. So, and you can run these charts for the whole sales team or for individual reps. So you can once again get a really good picture as to what's going on with that particular rep and whatnot. So those are some of the high points in the reporting area.